2 letters. 1 word.
Latuche, motherfucker, the math is the math.
The meaning of life, not Latuche, motherfucker. Yeah. Previously on Kimba TV. So if you missed that, that's okay. This is kind of like I would expect veterans to at least have entertained it. This is classic Trident. And now if you make a higher high, you're good. So if you make a higher high and if you want to get into a long, then you let the structure change and you try to catch that one next. Yeah. How we doing? Yeah, boy. Bugatti. JV says, I need to go to work in 15 minutes. Can we do TA? JV, we can't because you haven't read the Discord post yet. Hurry, JV, go and leave an emote. Go leave an emote reaction to indicate that you read it, please. Go. So everybody is, stop the music. Everybody is caught up on the, okay, so everybody is caught up on this. Okay, everybody's caught up on this, right? That's from Friday. We already talked about this. Okay, so everybody caught up so far? Not too bad, huh? Okay, we're good so far? Everybody good so far? Easy money, Bugatti money. Easy money, Bugatti money. And then obviously, the range changed. All right, so obviously the value area high moved up, right? The volume area, the value area high moved up, right? Okay, so you had all this new price action, value area high moved up, it broke out, it did a bullish retest on the value area high, and we're making higher highs. Ready? Easy money, Bugatti. Any questions? What are we looking for next now, y'all? Any questions on what we're looking for next? 3 drives on 7.5 would be nice. It would be Xenon, yeah. So let's take a look at S&P, y'all. S&P is going to open with a gap. Yes? S&P is at 54.08 and then futures are at 54.57. So would like to see if it wants to fill the gap. Make sense? So yeah, anything sort of like here. Maybe we start to rotate back down. But it's gonna depend on S&P. But this, you know, we're still in that long, and we'll just expect to get stopped out in profit. Gucci. Kusenolson says bait longs till news, then fill CME before weekend, then juice weekend again. If we're going to go down and fill the CME gap, I would prefer that we do it today, maybe tomorrow at the latest. Usually, Mondays and Tuesdays will form the week high or week low. So I would actually prefer today, since we're resuming the market back again, I would prefer that we go back down today, the latest tomorrow, and then maybe swing fail this bitch. Roger? I would probably put my stop loss on the long, like here. because that maybe even here, because it's obviously just doing structure change. I would probably put my stop loss on long here. Okay, and then obviously all the shorts are still running. Where would you put stop loss on shorts? Here. Yeah, so hopefully today we get a rotation back down, CME gap fill, S&P gap fill. Forget the CME for today. S&P gap fill. Roger? Yeah, maybe one more move up. I wouldn't mind that. But I think some people are maybe looking at this the wrong way. And I think on Saturday, I'm going to do a nerd out Saturday on it really doesn't matter to me if it does this, or if it does this, or if it does this. Like, for me, it don't really matter. How many of y'all know how much money I've moved to buy some spot? How many of y'all know how much money I've moved to maybe buy some crypto spot? I'm doing basically the same thing with traditional markets. I've already consulted with my wealth manager at Goldie. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't matter for me if it's here or 47 or even 42 in the grand scheme of things. It blows my mind that there's people that are actually talking about like rate cuts not happening. Are you fucking stupid? You got to be fucking playing with me. Rate cuts are happening. And obviously, like if you're leverage trading, the entry does matter. You know, like obviously if you long here and it goes to 47, you're fucked. And if you long at 47 and it goes to 42, you're fucked. You know? But the way that I would look at this is between like from October to the end of 2025, for me, the markets are bullish. Like in a abstract sense, you know, rate cuts, liquidity is going to flow in. They're going to print money. And then there's going to be all this money sloshing around, and that usually drives risk on assets to go up. So we have CPI and FOMC in the next 2 weeks. And and remember, October, we don't have FOMC, by the way. It's November 6th and November 7th is the next FOMC. So the way that I would look at this is I want to try to get into a long in September. So this area is kind of nice, you know. I don't know if this is, I don't really know who the fuck would know. I don't know if it's going to do this. I don't know if it's this, or I don't know if it's this, but it's one of these three for me. It's one of these three for me. This isn't that difficult for me. I doubt it would go to 42, but holy fuck, if it does, I'm buying that hoe. All right. So yeah, I mean, the higher time frame process for me for the rest of the month is I want to get into a long sometime this month. And I think generally speaking, October this year, all the way to the end of next year. Do you guys remember when I was talking about, 2025, 2026 is kind of peak, and then it's going to shit itself? And then like 2029, 2030, I might think about actually buying hella property and building like my family house. 2025 is going to be a juicy year probably. But I'm not going to buy a fucking house in that year because you're buying the top. So I don't know if it's going to hold here or if it's going to lose. Okay? But this, how long have y'all been seeing me with this box here? And how long have we had this level? And how long have we had this level? And how long do you know, how long have I been talking about 47? So it's one of these hoes, man. I don't know where it's going to bounce from, but all of these are long opportunities. Okay? How many of y'all were here yesterday on Friday when I broke down the harmonic? So it would not surprise me for it to do some shit. Dink, dink, dink. Maybe like here. And then 47. Alrighty. So even though I'm in a long, I would TP a lot of my long probably. Maybe like 33%. And as a person that likes to swing for home runs, that's pretty rare. But I would probably TP the long if we did run up to like 60 or 61. Alrighty. And then on like the smaller time frame, I would love to get a CME gap fill and go today. Or even better, a swing fail of the CME bad low. All right, so you guys remember what we talked about on S&P? There's your gap. Yeah, so maybe there's like a short hedge opportunity around like the 7.5 to come back down. And it doesn't have to come back down. So for me, what I would like to see for S&P is do this and fill the gap. I would love to fill the gap because it's a little bit of an easier trade. Leon says, yes, Kimba, 43K is a 618. Yeah, I know. Like this, right? From this low of accumulation. Yeah, we've already talked about that maybe 6 months ago. Why do you think I have that line there? And it's also the sweep. We even went over why that is the sweep and not these ones. Almost 5-6 months ago. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So I'm already in the 53 long. What do you guys remember what I said on Friday? What did I say on Friday about any sort of long attempts that we take on Friday or over the weekend? I don't care if you're in a long from here. I don't care if you're in a long from here. What did we say about all long attempts between Friday and till now? We expect to be stopped out and round tripped. Yes? So I'm still going for that. If I don't, that would be amazing. If I don't, that would be awesome. If we start to break through 57, that would be awesome. Yeah. But do you guys, what did I say about it's hard for me to expect a meaningful pump when what did I say last week? It's hard for me to imagine a meaningful pump when what? Sammy says, how did you take that long? Exclamation rewind. Friday. Sammy. So were you here when I showed this? When I went like this? Were you here when I did this? And then what did I do after that? Were you here when I said this is the lowest level that I would allow for the long attempt? So this is the 75 of this range. So yeah, there you go, Sammy. Do you remember when I drew it like this? Some people actually put blind limits there. I wouldn't recommend it, but bunch of you guys put blind limits here and have amazing entries, better entries than I do. So lots of ways to do it, because if you remember, people asked, hey, if that is your bottom, if you're saying that you wouldn't want anything below that, why don't you put blind limits there and stop loss it with ATR? And I said, it's not worth it for me because I can have a $53,000 entry and I don't have to put blind limits in at 52.5. Some people actually put limits there, but people were already asking, the week before, yesterday, why don't you put blind limits in and use your stop loss with ATR? So whether you wanted to put blind limits there, you wanted to do fibception, lots of different ways that you could have taken it, Sammy. Also, if you didn't take any sort of longs on a deviation outside of this box, okay, because anything outside of this box, this would have been okay. Okay, but even if you didn't take the deviation of the box, we gave you the long attempt if you wanted to take it. Single point grab and then value area hoe retest. We don't get bullish on the penetration. We get bullish on the retest, right? So we said wherever the value, see how this is the value area high, right? But over the weekend, bing, 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 and value area high moved up, right? Look, ding, 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 ding. This is your value area high, right? Look at the bullish retest. It broke out, bullish retest on value area high, we're going. So this is your range, this is your value, you broke out, you bullish retest, that's your long. Did you know that we talked about that on Friday night? Because people were asking, where would we at a long? So Sammy, you're asking me, how did you take a 53K? Not only did we talk about that Friday night, people were asking, hey, if I want to get into a long, where can I get into a long? And this is 7:44 p.m. on Friday night. Where can I get into a long? Listen to what I say. We talked about this already. Okay? Look at that. Looks like pixel perfect. Roller says, I completely agree with you, but now is the time to dump unnecessary passengers, and after that, go towards 61K to close the upper gap. For sure. Where do you think, Roller? So we've been watching this. So obviously, like the bullish retest would be nice, and then we have single prints. And then oddly enough, you go dink, dink, kind of lines up interestingly there. So this is your single print and then 7.5. So, what you thinking? Yeah, but But that being said, though, Rawler, I also wouldn't mind going back down to 52 again, my boy. Rawler, do you think we could go ahead and get my ass back in that 52 thing or nah? Or because my position here is not big at all. But yeah, most likely like a 61, 61.5, 61.8 short would be interesting to go to the 47. Yeah, Hobo says, I want 52 and I want it now. Well, I would assume if it doesn't bounce back above the blue line again, we might have it. Oh, by the way, daily candle close, let's go. We survived the Monday of CPI week. How y'all doing, Lions? You Gucci Magucci? Are you Gucci Magucci? Talk to me, Lions. Cage, you Gucci Magucci? Gamer Girl, happy Monday, Gamer Girl. Any questions? Rooting for you. Are you excited for CPI? Man, we went from 40 viewers to becoming like the #1 crypto channel. And now we got people hating, talking shit, but also hundreds, if not thousands of Lions changing their lives, you know? And, man, we're going to take this bitch far. My goal is to make this a self-sustaining community that can never die off. Cersei, you good? Due East, Jupy, Indo Lion, J-Tac. Prox1 says, we'll see core CPI reaction, I guess, for sure. Like, I don't really know where we're going to be for CPI. I don't know if the scam wick, the initial debate is, you know, the initial move is debate. I don't know if that's going to happen to get us into the 61 short. I don't know if it's going to get us into the 52 swing fail. It just came out. Amino Noob, what do you think about single print grab a line with golden pocket? Okay, I'm actually glad that you said that, Amino Noob. So let's just talk about basics, okay? Let's just talk basics. These are the most significant levels. These are levels that I have not touched in quite some time, right? So who asked this again? Okay, Amino Noob, these are the levels that we've had, right, for quite some time. So just from, you would think we already had a bullish retest of that, okay? So naturally, for me, I would be like, fuck, is this the bullish retest? I don't think this is worth chasing for me, or the single print is worth chasing for me, because I already have a small long down from 53. Okay. However, if I didn't, and I wanted to get into a long to go back up to 61, I would have to seriously think about this. That is not that great of a level if you're talking about confluence. I would much rather probably do something like this. And look for this zone. So basically like previous resistance. And then if you do this and you kind of go back, you can kind of see why this level is interesting. You see it? So forget the golden pocket, okay? But go to this where it was previous resistance, okay? You see it? Support, support, support. Okay, and when it was previous resistance temporarily. So you have to think to yourself, okay, well, if we're actually looking at higher time frame shit, that's the bounce. The problem is you have no fucking volume. So this is one of those things where if you're going to try to long this, you better get one of those like, oh, if Pixel fucked the 7.5 and it went right back in. And you would want that 7.5 to 0.5 move quick. This is one of those where even if I get filled, if it starts to do some fuck around shit like this, this is one of those where it's starting to do this, I'm out. Kimba, what do you mean? You just got filled. What do you mean you're out? Dude, you spent two 30-minute candle closes or three 30-minute candle closes below golden pocket. It should have wicked right back to 0.5 if it was really going to be bought. I know what you mean when you say single print and go. You're doing this, right? And that would be a little bit more in line with other volume. So single print is at 55800. Even if you went to the 618 and you only did a partial fill, 559. You know, you're looking at 56,000, which is like the monthly point of control. So maybe like tap monthly point of control and then go. Do you understand that every single component has its own risk profile? Longing here has its own risk profile. Longing here has its own, and longing here has its own. Obviously, you also have the TPO point of control right down there, and that would also be your full rotation. So daily open is outside of value. Full value area low rotation would be 54862. I wish it wasn't fucking 10:30 at night and it was like 4 p.m. and then I could sit here with you guys and do this live. Open interest doesn't help, as you guys can probably tell. Can you guys tell that almost all of the longs from the bottom is completely out? You have about 18 million left. So you could say, okay, I have the levels identified. Maybe I'm not going to take this one because there's still 18 million in longs left, but maybe you're looking at here, maybe you're looking at here, and you're going to just wait for the 18 million in longs to get stopped out. And that's when you take it. You could also not be so picky and just say, fuck it, Kimba Box, Bugatti boys. Stop loss. If you do this the right way, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That means that if you get fulfilled, your average entry is right there anyways. So if you do get fulfilled on this, you have the same thing as front running a 7.5. However, if you don't get fulfilled, you're at least partial filled. So this is somebody that really is bullish and really wants to get into a long, right? Your stop loss on any long attempt would be a structure change. So it's going to be a lower low, which means that whether you take a long here, long here, long here, your stop loss is one of these lows. Revs QQ says that box at 7.5 aligns with 1 hour single prints. Single prints should be viewed on 30-minute time frames. Revs QQ, ideally. Alpeasy says, have you moved your long stop, Kimba? Nope. Still here. Yeah. So I'm glad you asked that, Alpeasy. Basically, I'm trying to do the math. If I get stopped out right here, what is the profit that I make? If I enter here, how much X Bitcoin should I long there? So even if I get filled and stopped out, this loss is at least smaller than 25% of this total profit. It's also another reason why I don't like to add, because I don't like to fuck up my average entry. I have this long, the 53 long on Kraken. I can take this on tap bit or blowfin, and it doesn't fuck up my entry, you know? Yeah, it's just awkward because you have your TPO point of control right here. You have your value area low right here for your full rotation, but this is getting a little bit too close for comfort. Maybe for some of you guys it wouldn't be, but for me, I would be like, dude, the long stop loss is only $300 away. So there's your conundrum if you want to chase a long. Here's the other thing too, whether it doesn't matter if you end up taking a long here, if you end up taking the golden pocket amino noob, and it doesn't matter if you wait for the 7.5. Okay. What I want everybody to kind of take a look at is how awkward trying to long this bullshit is. Is this one more difficult, or is this one single print, value area high, bullish retest? Like, looking back on it, which one seems easier? So if you decide in the future that you don't want to long here, you don't want to long this box, you don't want to long the bullish retest of the breakout of that box, you are always going to be in these difficult ass scenarios. So when you get up here next time, if let's say we get up to 61 or 62 and you're pussyfooting on shorting there, understand that you miss that one and you start getting into this middle range and you start looking for a short, it's going to be just as awkward as this. We get down here and we sweep 52, or we get down into 49 or 47 or God knows what, 42. Those are the ones that you want to go have a little bit more conviction on, because if you don't, you're going to have to start eating the breadcrumbs. Think about how weird and awkward this is. Now it's like, fuck. So I want you to really think about which long is really easier to take. Fuck, should we take this one? Level to level. This is the next level. Fuck, otherwise it's here. No, mames. Single print. Fuck, what about the 7.5? What about the confluence of all these goddamn levels? That is your risk. If you don't want to take this risk, you risk doing goofy shit here because you didn't want to take this risk. So something to keep in mind, regardless of what you do or what happens, it's all stuff to think about. You know what I mean, Green Grandola? Let's go. You gonna be out for a little bit longer? Shout outs to you, gamer girl. RK man, let's go. Cersei, you good? Hey, so how many of you guys are going to actually try this long if the data looks good? Like 7.5 if all the longs get stopped out? You know? Or golden pocket, single print if the longs get stopped out. This is like, it's like this. Oh, dude, all the longs are gone already. Guys, all the longs are gone. They all got stopped out behind the 382. That's hilarious. Right? It lost the 382? Oh, yeah. That was the wick. Well, that's beautiful if you want to take a long, because why would you want Bybit longers if you're going to long, right? They're just going to fuck you up. August Swifty says, I have 58K short. I'm closing there. That's awesome, brother. I'm rooting for you. I like it. I like it. I like it. Amino News says might, but as you said, that volume is making it awkward. It is, brother. So it would have to be. That's why, like, if I'm going to go to sleep, I can't put blind limits there, because the reaction that I would want if I get filled at the 7.5 is one of those quick ones. The ones that, you know, the ones where it's like, and like, I'm like, guys, don't be mad at me, but I'm in from right there. Oh, the haters hate that. Testnet! It would have to be a quick, this reaction has to be quick. Alpeasy, you might have an opportunity here. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, Alpeasy. Div is not exactly there. If you can get that regular with that hidden, it might be nice. Alpeasy. I just don't think this is going to give you that div that you want. But dink. So this high, this candle is here. Okay, how much would you lose? How much are we talking about here? 57741. Wait, what? 500 bucks? 430? Not bad. I still think the 61.8 or the 60.8 would be easier. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bugatti. The math is the math. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss.